Hello and welcome. Today, we have several interesting stories, including one about an entitled husband who planned a vacation with his wife and decided to give his sister the ticket. Sit back, take a cup of drink, and enjoy. Am I the idiot for asking my pregnant girlfriend to pay for or replace my meal because she ate all of it? I've, 26M, been with my girlfriend, 29F, for going on 2 years. Before we ever met, she and her sister had been working on her being a surrogate for her sister and her sister's husband. Global things delayed that. We talked about her agreement before we got together, and now she's pregnant for them. She is staying with them for now, but she comes over to my place frequently to spend time with me when she's free. It's not so bad, but either she raids my kitchen or she complains nothing looks good and wanted me to keep some of her for sure cravings on hand. My parents came to visit me and asked me if I wanted them to pick anything up for me on their way. They had to pass one of my favorite restaurants to get here, so I said yes. They showed up, we visited with each other. I ate a little bit of what they brought me since I wasn't really hungry yet and put the rest in the fridge for dinner that night. My girlfriend wound up coming over for a bit after they left. She got hungry and wanted a snack, and came out with the container I put my leftovers in and goes, "Can I have some of this?" I told her yes. She came back with a plate and she didn't take some of it, she took all of it and put all kinds of shit on it so we couldn't even share. I told her that I said she could have some and she just ate all of what I intended to have for dinner, so I asked her to either send me money to pay for so I could go get some myself, or she could make the drive and get me another order. She didn't want to drive that far and she didn't think she should have to pay me anything. I told her she should because it'd just be nice of her to do since I get she gets cravings, but it's not like she's pregnant with my kid or we live together. She left at that point, left half the food uneaten, and I wouldn't eat it cause of what she put on it. A couple of hours later my mother called. My GF texted her about what happened. My mom gave me an earful about how I have no idea what it's like for my GF right now and I need to be supportive and let things go. The top replies. Not the idiot. Regardless of how special the meal was, or your willingness to share it, or how much it cost you, or whatever her condiments did to its palatability, she didn't think anything about taking your whole dinner and not replacing it. Then she used her pregnancy as the excuse. You don't live together, so I'm guessing you don't share expenses or grocery shopping. Edit. It's not the norm that all food is automatically shared food. People who fail to read your post will see only pregnant GF, and not GF as a surrogate for a family member. That means you're not going to be raising a child together, or any of the other reasons people will throw at you for their outrage. She took your food. You asked her to replace it or throw you some cash. That's reasonable. The second reply. So wait, she's probably getting paid to be a surrogate, or at the very least getting free room and board, and he is expected to pitch in on the situation by being her second pantry. For a pregnancy, he has nothing to do with? The snacks are innocent enough, but to just come and stuff your face with no remorse? Forget about it. The third reply. Not the idiot.
And when you have a disagreement, your GF calls your mom so she can scold you.
Isn't it the most cringe to involve someone's parents in an argument when you're dating? Cringe enough when they involve their own parents, but involving the partner's parents is next level. I could take a wild guess that original poster's mom is overbearing and kinda bossy, so he picked the same kind of woman as a GF, hence why they both walk all over him, but I'm just spitballing. Dump the girlfriend. Fourth reply. I don't get how some people do this. I and my boyfriend are closing in on 8 years together and never have I involved his mother in a disagreement between us. Not that we argue often at all. There was once, in the beginning, when we'd argue, unfortunately before he was going to a family dinner. He was sulky over there and his mother asked if there were trouble, but simply said, "Don't *ck this up. Apparently she liked me already, lol." But that was it.
If you can't resolve issues without going to a grown adult's parent to tell on them, well, then I don't know.
Not the idiot. Second story. Am I the idiot for gifting show tickets to my best friend and not my wife? To make a long story short, I was given tickets to a show, Broadway, if it matters any, through work. I can't stand musicals and didn't want the tickets, but I know my best friend Nicole would like them. She's talked about wanting to see the show live before, and her birthday was coming up, so I thought to give her them. My wife and I, were at the birthday party, and when my wife saw Nicole open the gift, she was pissed. Nicole was so happy she was crying. Meanwhile, my wife was fuming and dragged me out of the house asking what the hell I was thinking. I told her what I've told you all here. My wife started crying too, upset as opposed to Nicole being happy, and told me that she wanted to see the show live for the past 3 years or so. She also told me she was the one to introduce Nicole to the fandom, and that she was hurt that I would think of Nicole before her. I told my wife I wasn't picking favorites and that Nicole's birthday was just sooner and I didn't have a gift for her yet, so I gave her the tickets. My wife said I could have given them to her for Christmas, but I told her to stop being greedy and that Christmas was 2 weeks away, so it wouldn't be much a Christmas gift. I went back outside and left my wife outside to cool off/collect herself. Nicole was happy and couldn't stop thanking me. After about a half hour I went back outside to have my wife come back in because she was being rude, but I couldn't find her. I later found out she took an Uber home. It's been 4 days and she hasn't spoken to me. Am I the idiot for being thoughtful and giving my best friend a kind gift for her birthday? The first reply: you are the idiot. I'm assuming that you were terrified that if you gave the tickets to your wife she might ask you to go to something that you can't stand. Making a friend happy is nothing compared with making your wife unhappy. Your wife was upset and you left her outside, then after half an hour you went to fetch her back in because she was being rude? You don't have a clue, do you? Second reply: original poster really played himself because the obvious move would have been to give the tickets to his wife, and then say, you know, I'll go with you myself if you want, but what if you asked Nicole? I know you two both really love this show, and I'd be happy to sit this one out so you can both see it together. 99% certainty that would work, and he'd get good boy points from both his wife and their friend, all the credit for facilitating both of them having a wonderful experience they'll enjoy, all without him having to sit through the musical himself. He coulda really had a home run here. Third reply: so, your wife has been wanting to see this show for 3 years. You get tickets from work, she assumedly knows you have them. Then you gift them to some other woman without so much as a mention to your wife? Wow. What a lucky woman she is. Yeah, you are the idiot. That was really effing shitty. Third story: am I the idiot for trying to stop my job from having a dog-friendly office? I've, F35, been at my job for about a year and a half. I like my job and had no plans of leaving. During this time, we were not a dog-friendly office. My company owns the building we work in. It's your basic office with cubes and offices and conference rooms and includes a grassy patio area. Around 25 to 30 people work here full-time. It's not a job you can really work from home consistently as it requires in-person collaboration and is hands-on. If this job was dog-friendly when I was hired, I would have never taken the job. I can't stand dogs. Everything about them really. My dislike of dogs has never impacted my life, career, family, or friends till now. To be honest, I usually don't bring it up to non-friends/family because I get a lot of hate. So I usually stay quiet and try to remove myself from a situation as best I can. We recently had salary and benefit review one-on-one meetings with we are all getting 6% raises. They took suggestions on benefits that we'd like to see. I gave my input. Overall, I was pretty happy with our benefits. However, a number of coworkers said they'd like to see a dog-friendly office. At the conclusion of the meetings, HR took their findings to management. 2 weeks after our one-on-one meetings, management sent out the proposed changes and requested some final input. Staff had 2 weeks to respond. Well, the 2 weeks we had to respond, I was on vacation. I went on a slightly over 2-week trip out of the country that had been planned for well in advance. On vacation I didn't check emails or messages. I went offline as much as I could and didn't see the email asking for final input and was not able to raise any objections till I came back. Well, the dog-friendly office had overwhelming support with no objections, until I came back to work. It was supposed to start January 1st in the new year. Well, I saw the proposal from almost 3 weeks earlier and went straight to HR. I raised my objections right then. I told HR that if they were dog friendly when I interviewed, I would have never worked here. I asked them to re-evaluate. Well, they granted my wish and have re-evaluated this and let staff know this is on hold. They have not committed to anything either way yet, with no everyone is the idiot on a resolution. The thing is, everyone knows it is me and I'm getting the cold shoulder from nearly everyone. This was very popular and something most were looking forward to. So am I the idiot? Top replies. If HR is asking opinions, then not the idiot for letting your opinion be known. HR/exec team can decide what they want to do with it. Having dogs in the office is not the same thing as asking for a coffee maker and microwave in the break room. Third reply. I'm a teacher. At my school, when we have work days, no students, no meetings, we get, bring your dog to work day. It's great for so many to have our furry friends around. Some of them play together in the classroom while teams work, and we have the huge playground, public park when school isn't in session, for them to use as needed on leash. There are very specific rules about having the dogs there that we all have to follow to not lose the privilege. Even then, we still have specific rooms and areas that are dog-free, for staff who don't want to see/hear/smell dogs. It also keeps clean spaces for kids who are allergic. Not the idiot. Maybe you could suggest dog-friendly days once a month or less on days that the hands-on collaboration doesn't have to happen for everyone. Fourth story. Am I the idiot for telling my husband I'd rather nobody use my holiday booking out of spite? My 23F husband, 27M, and I have been together for 5 years, married for 3. We're both athletic people, or at least I used to be, so we've been planning a holiday for the past year. Without going into major details, it's an expensive, by my standards, holiday, and it would have involved a lot of hiking. I was looking forward to it. I was in an accident recently and, once again, without going into much detail as it's triggering, lost my leg. It's upsetting, but I'm not in a place to openly speak about it outside of therapy. Obviously, due to this recent restriction, I'm unable to do what we'd planned for our holiday.
I hadn't thought about the holiday. It's non-refundable. I had expected my husband to not want to go. Currently his family haven't asked once how I am, and my family claim it's hard to be around me because they don't know how to support me, whatever.
He said yesterday he invited his sister, 19, in my place. I was baffled because I expected him to support me. He said it's not for 2 months. I'm like, so what? Cancel it and it's something we can both do. He said he needs a break, that he's been supporting me, he deserves this, and he was also looking forward to it. So I said, you go. But I paid for my spot, so no, she can't use it. He asked if I'm being serious, that it's spiteful. His sister hasn't done anything. I said she hasn't asked me once how I'm doing. She texted me last week for £150. Why should she get a free holiday? Anyway, he's upset, claiming he'll still go and pay for his sister, which he won't, since A, it's expensive, and B, last I checked, fully booked. Am I the idiot? I'd ask family or friends, but I don't feel like texting them. The top replies. Not the idiot. Do you have travel insurance? Because your accident should allow you to claim the whole trip cost back, including your traveling companions. Even if you don't, an email and copy of a medical letter would trigger many hotels, airlines to refund you, even if this is outside their T&Cs. Sending good wishes. My mom had a flight voucher expiring with no options to extend. She emailed explaining she had to have surgery and they extended it for a year and she can use it for other locations. Second reply. I've been on both sides of this phone call, as the employee and the customer. As the employee, I used to work at a self-moving rental truck company, you know the one. When people were polite to me, I gave them free miles, discounts, free equipment, literally anything I could do. If they were dicks, I rigidly adhered to the written policy that basically told them to go sit on a cactus and twist. As the customer, I always do my best to be kind and understanding with the employee, because they are never the ones at fault for the issue I'm having.
I do often get free stuff out of the deal, but at the end of the day I'm nice because no one deserves to be treated rudely just for doing their job.
Third reply. This is a very hard post to decide an opinion on. You have described a family, both yours and his, that seem very unsupportive, and not even expressing concern. I am sorry to hear this. That is really terrible. But there are some unanswered questions. Have the families always treated you this way? Have you always had a good relationship before the accident?
Did you maintain pretty consistent contact before the accident?
Are the family members themselves in communication with one another? If things between you and your own family and your husband's family were good. In other words, you had a good, caring relationship in which you talked consistently and regularly.
Could it be that they are afraid of how to address your injury for fear of making things worse? If that is the case, then maybe they need guidance from your husband on what words or sentiments will not trigger you. And specifically, how they may help. If the relationships were bad or non-existent, is it possible they are afraid of how you will react if they express their concern and care?
Could it be they think it will appear disingenuous to suddenly show support when that has not happened before? In posing these scenarios, I am not trying to defend their actions, but rather present what may be going on with them resulting in their behavior. They may need a nudge or guidance from your husband to give you the support you need. Or, they all could just be a holes, but it seems statistically off that every member of both your family and your husband's don't care about you.